Dear Mom, it was such a beautiful day. My friends and I decided to do some skydiving. After gliding through the air for several thousand feet above the Enchanted Mountains in southern New York, we landed in Rock City Park on State Route 16, about 5.5 miles south of Olean and 12 miles northeast of Bradford, PA. The rock formations were so gigantic, we thought a plane ride would show more of them. However, because of the foliage, we could only see the beauty of a few, so my friend and I decided to camp out here for the next 12 months, enjoying all 4 seasons. For centuries, Native American Indians, known as the Senecas, called this beautiful area their home. Game was plentiful and water was nearby. Using my imagination, Mom, I can almost see the Indians sitting around their campfires. It's autumn now, and the woods mirror a paint box of Mother Nature's colors, beautiful shades of red, crimson, yellow, and gold on the wide variety of trees found in the park. This picture is a photographer's dream. When I look at these vivid colors, almost nothing is left to my imagination. I know the days are getting shorter and warm days are almost gone. When I see the trees swaying in the breezes and leaves fluttering to the ground, autumn is a sign of the winter to come. The diminishing hours of daylight, along with the cold temperatures and snow of winter, often arrive before the calendar indicates this season has actually begun. Snow falls into rock crevices, some so deep that the sun seldom reaches their depths. Winter's grays and whites make the park a lonely but peaceful place. I have learned from Dale, the park ranger, about Rock City Park recently. Rock City Park is a 23-acre picturesque tourist mecca containing the world's largest exposed deposit of quartz conglomerate and gigantic boulders. Visitors can stand on some of these sedimentary rocks, which were formed about 320 million years ago during the geological era known as the Pennsylvania period. Contrary to an earlier belief, these unique rock formations were not deposited at their current locations during the Ice Age. Geologists, using modern investigative techniques, have discovered beyond a doubt that the rocks were here prior to the Ice Age and not pushed south by glaciers and split into unique shapes by earthquakes. Spring, like winter, can be unpredictable, arriving early or late. With the dreary days of winter in the past, the vibrant colors of nature return to life the joy of spring. The park's trees and flowers awaken from their long sleep, inspiring a sense of optimism in us. Familiar songs of birds are another sure sign that spring has arrived. Spring certainly was made for our senses, don't you agree, Mom? Rock City Park was the forerunner of Disney World. Advertisements in newspapers attracted mostly families by the hundreds from all over the country. Local families spent all day enjoying the picnic areas, penny arcade, shooting gallery, photo studio for portraits, and the always popular carousel. Because it is a natural wonder, people still come from around the world. Mom, I remember family stories about the slow pace of life in America in the years before the outbreak of World War I. It was almost leisurely. Since the park was owned and operated by the Western New York and Pennsylvania Traction Company, it provided a large trolley system that brought in people from Olean, New York and Bradford, PA. The trolley soon became the preferred way for local visitors to travel to the park. The trolleys were overloaded with people singing love songs popular in their time. The trolleys faded into history about 1928.
Hi, I'm Dale the Park Ranger. Welcome to Rock City Park.
One of the main buildings was the Pavilion. It had a restaurant, lecture hall, and music hall for dancing. I peeked in one of its windows and imagined seeing couples dressed in their finest attire, delighting in ballroom dancing to the music of When the Saints Come Marching In. John Philip Sousa's band once played here too. The park was a popular attraction that caught the imagination of visitors and led to the construction of the Bon Air Hotel, a structure of regal splendor. Among its famous guests were John L. Sullivan, who held the Bare Knuckles Heavyweight Boxing Championship from 1882 until 1892, and Lillian Russell, the famous actress and opera star. Today, Rock City Park, a privately owned tourist attraction, is home to wooded picnic areas, a gift shop offering souvenirs and refreshments, large pavilion, clean restrooms, and spacious parking areas where families still come in large numbers. In the summer, Visitors to Rock City Park are greeted by the greenery of the trees, plants, and shrubs, the dark, rich colors of wildflowers, and ripening of strawberries, blackberries, and huckleberries. After checking in at the gift shop, our self-guided tour begins at Signal Rock, named for the site where the Senecas sent smoke signals to other tribes many miles away. On a clear day, one can see as far as 35 miles. To the right of Signal Rock is the only remaining non-working oil pump jack left over from the oil days. Rock City Park was right in the middle of the Bradford oil fields, which produced about 75% of the world's oil back in the 1900s. From there, we walk over to the Iron Steps. I pause and stand in amazement as I look down the 70-foot crevice between the rock formations. Down along the deep, cool, moss-lined crevices, stairways have been built, leading to a maze of passages where sunshine seldom reaches. As I walk down the steps to Fat Man's Squeeze, I can feel a marked change in temperature, which is several degrees cooler, sometimes, depending on how long winter conditions last. At the bottom of these iron steps, I pass through Fat Man's Squeeze, also known as Fat Man's Peril. Seeing just how close these rocks are, I readily realize how this formation got its name. As I proceed farther, I pass gigantic rocks on my way to Dining Hall Pass and the dining hall table. Great place for a banquet or picnic as far as that goes. Time to take more pictures. Each step I take brings into view a large rock in the form of the state of New York, minus Long Island. Following the trail markers, I went to the next site, known as Indian Camp. They built a fire there to eat and keep warm during the winter months. In all likelihood, the Seneca Indians used these formations as a shelter and fortress due to their special shapes. I proceed partway down the trail before I stopped, turned around, and looked at the teepee rock, which looks like the real thing. Sometimes it's called pyramid rock. I follow the trail to Profanity Pass. which is really the first entrance to Twin Rocks, also called Three Sisters. As you pass through the pass, you will see the outline of Old Man of the Rock and another outline of a monkey's face. Over the years, Three Sisters has become a favorite subject for photographers. My imagination tells me the enormous cluster of rock really shows the Three Sisters engaged in close conversation. This provides the perfect setting for an outdoor wedding. Continuing down the trail brings us to the foot of Pulpit Rock. It is so big it belongs in a cathedral. Straight ahead and further down the trail is the largest freestanding rock in the formation known as Sentinel Rock. I learned that waterfalls cut crevices in these rocks. Here we are at the remains of an old Parksburg drilling rig and oil tank. When oil was pumped up from the ground, it contained water also. The oil tank separated the water from the oil. The drilling rig was built in 1935 and used until 1962. The rig was built on skids in 3 sections. One end was the engine house. In the center, the brake, clutch, and band wheel. The derrick was on the other end. Here's more of the side and back view of Sentinel Rock. Then, turning back and circling Sentinel Rock to the second path, I soon faced the moray eel with its fluttering appearance of the body, head, and nose stretched out on the huge smooth rock. What a sight! Continuing on the trail brings me to the world's largest hamburger, Hamburger Rock itself. My mouth starts to moisten because I've worked up quite an appetite. Then, up the hill to the balancing rock, where tons and tons of stone rest precariously on a flat base rock 6 feet high. Proof that there has not been any earthquake activity here for many years. Wish you were here to see this, Mom. I tell myself to keep walking, fast, there's more. Past the fox den and bear's den, on my way to the face in the rock. The face in the rock is another uniquely shaped rock on top of which is still another face, this one of an Indian. I imagine seeing the figure's turban, nose, eye, and brow. I made my way through the trees to the bottom of Signal Rock, and after feeling my way between the boulders, there in front of me is a second unique shaped rock known as the Half Sphinx. Split almost perfectly in half, this formation looks very much like the weather-worn Great Sphinx near Gaza in Egypt. Near the end of my tour, I approached the Indian Stairs. Centuries ago, the Senecas built these steps without any cement or mortar as a means of getting to the top of the park where they could defend their territory. My tour ends back at the gift shop where I will buy you a souvenir. You should visit Rock City Park, where time stands still and visitors can forget about their worries, even if only temporarily. It's a great way to enjoy the outdoors and learn about history at the same time. I certainly agree with those people who regard Rock City Park as one of the truly remarkable wonders of nature. With the exception of Niagara Falls, I have a difficult time of thinking of another site that surpasses Rock City Park. I'll be home soon, Mom. Love, your daughter.